Afternoon. We're going to go through the 3A Composites DIBOND product, and in particular, we're going to talk about the new product, the DIBOND Mirror. My name is Doug Twitchell. I'm the Director of Distributor Relations here at 3A, and I'll be walking you through today's program. If you have any questions, there's a chat function. Feel free to put any questions that you have in there. And at the end of the presentation today, we will try to answer any questions that you might have. First, just to go through the DIBOND product, a little bit of history about the material and about aluminum composite. One of the things that you've probably heard 3A people talk about is that we're very proud of the fact that in the categories that we participate of products, we created most of them. So when you're looking at a foam PVC, our company created the first foam PVC material. We created a foam board product. And that is also true with aluminum composite. So the picture that you have on your screen now is the very first aluminum composite sheet that was made at our plant in Germany in 1969. You can tell from those haircuts, that's 1969. So yeah, Zingen, Germany is where that was made. These are the engineers going over that very first sheet, reviewing that sheet, and that is the beginning of aluminum composite material. Then the aluminum composite material, the Alucobond, was primarily used in building cladding and things like that. So it was natural that there would be a baby brother or an offspring from that, and that was the DIBOND material that would go into the sign graphic types industry that we see today, plus also the transportation markets. So the company recognized after creating this first aluminum composite sheet of Alucobond that there was a need for additional materials. So a couple of questions that we have for you to start off today. A couple of poll questions. If you just take a minute and answer the poll questions real quick, we'll see what everybody's response is to these questions. So the first question is, what year was the first sheet of DIBOND created in the U.S.? Another second to answer that one, but I'll tell you the answers to both of the questions that are coming up. Okay. And then the second question that we have. Oh, hold on.
There you go. Let's see, we'll share these results. You can see it.
Okay. So you can see the correct answer is 1997 was when the first sheet of DIBOND was produced at our Benton, Kentucky plant. So it was a number of years later before we entered into the sign market. The second question we have for you, we kind of tipped the hand on this one a little bit, but this is one that we are commonly asked by a lot of people. So take a second, see what you think the answer to this is. Typically, people at 3A Composites, we pronounce it one way, and the rest of the market pronounces it another way. So I don't know that I can say that there's a correct way. I could just tell you at the company where we make it, there is a pronunciation that we typically use, and that is the Dibond. A lot of people in the market have called it Dibond. For us, it's kind of been one of those mysteries throughout time. Why is it called Dibond and not Dibond? Some of our guesses are it was originally created as a display material, so display bond. Other guesses have been that the pronunciation for the letter I in some countries is E, so that's how we get it. But for most of us, it just falls into those questions like our Sintra product. Why is it called Sintra? And there isn't even anybody here at the company who knows where the origin of that name is. So we call it Dibond, but it's commonly referred to in the marketplace as Dibond also. So I wanted to show you quickly in the website some of the things that you have access to. And a number of years ago, I worked for a plastics distributor. And so my first introduction to the Dibond product was the sales rep for the company coming to me as I worked at the distributor, and they needed somebody in the marketplace to bring this product into stock. Well, this was a very unique product for plastics distributors at that time. And I looked at it, I'm like, yeah, this is aluminum. We don't sell aluminum. Where am I going to sell this? Who's going to buy this? This was a very odd material for a plastics distributor to carry. So fast forward 23 years, and you don't even have to fast forward that long. Yeah, it didn't take long for aluminum composite to really catch on. The attributes of the product, the things that the product allows you to do, turned out to be a great introduction product. So from 1997 until now, most everybody is going to stock and probably bringing in fairly large quantities of aluminum composite material. So that was kind of the beginning of it. As we go through the website, some of the things that I want you to see on the Dibond website is there's really three components to the product. You've got the aluminum, the core, and the paint. And those are some of the attributes that really make Dibond stand out. So the paint finish on Dibond is a high quality paint finish with a lot of solids in the paint. And that gives you the ink adhesion, the printability that you know about Dibond. It also gives you the opportunity to cut and route and bend and shape and form without having to worry about the paint finish cracking and chipping and peeling. The aluminum is an 012 aluminum or a 0.3 aluminum. The alloys that we use allow you to do the shaping and the forming. Also gives you a certain resistance to corrosion if you're going to be using the material exterior. The core of the material is a virgin polyethylene core. Some of the products that come in from overseas have fillers inside of them that will dull your blades. You don't get a nice clean cut. You will always get that with the Dibond material. An option on the website here is to order samples. So you've got all kinds of samples, different colors, different finishes that you can order from there. You've got other tabs on here about the product details. So it'll take you through some of the features of the product. The availability is going to show you the sheet sizes and colors that we have available. And something that you might notice on here that was a change that we made a few years ago was we changed the sheets so that they are the same color now on both sides. So when you buy white, it's white on both sides, but it's a high gloss finish on one side and a matte finish on the other. And that's consistent now through the product offering. So the blue sheets are blue on both sides, high gloss over a matte finish. It's been a nice change for us. Then you have some of the downloads, and this is going to give you the opportunity to look at the fabrication manual and some product brochures. But there's a lot of information on those fabrication manuals that's going to teach you how to work with the products, how to speeds to cut it with, all these kinds of things. And then there's videos also, and the case histories. And those are kind of one and the same in that they're going to take you through products, the product applications, and should kind of get you excited about some of the things that people have done with the debond material. And I think some of the things that you'll see on there really should ignite your imagination on what can be done with debond. And we have a short video here to show you that'll show some of the things that you can do with debond. Again, here's a piece of debond being cut, routed on the backside. It's not cutting all the way through. It's just cutting part way through so that it can be used in an application where you can fold and bend it. It's not going to crack. The paint's not going to chip, but you're going to get some really interesting effects from the product that you can't get with a lot of other materials. So the routing on it it's nice, it's clean. The virgin polyethylene core, again, allows you to do a lot of this cutting without having a kind of a gray core and things like that. It gives you a nice, crisp, clean black core to the material. So what you'll see here is you can be very creative with this. When there was a group of us that went to England and watched sign shops and the types of things that they did with debond, far and above what we typically see done here in the US. But you can shape this and you can form it, bend it, create all kinds of really interesting looks for point of purchase displays or all kinds of displays. So not the kind of thing that you can get with a lot of other products without doing cutting and gluing. So product offering on debond. This is one of the things that you'll see that is consistent with debond, whether it's the mirror or the painted finishes. The flatness of the sheet. It stays flat. Expansion and contraction is minimal. So you can see in the circle in this picture, you can see the warping that's gone on with this 1/8" aluminum sign. Sun comes up in the morning, shines on that sign. You've got expansion and contraction. Aluminum will warp, or you'll get this waviness look called oil canning. Those are the kinds of things that you can avoid with debond. One of the big selling features is it stays flat, and that's consistent with the mirror finish also. No oil canning and a nice flat surface. So, you know, with the expansion of this product line now to include the mirrored finish, these are some examples. And we've been making the mirrored finish in our plant in Germany for a little while now. And so we've gone back to them and asked for pictures because we don't have enough experience with it here yet in the US to have a lot of application photos to show you. But the picture on the left, and these are, you got to kind of use your eyes to adjust to these things because it takes a minute to focus. Those look like those might be holes in the wall. That's actually mirror that's mounted to that wall. This is in the Louvre, and it's debond. It's got a little slight bend to it to add a nice architectural look to it, but it's mounted onto the wall then to show the reflection there. That picture in the center, there is an interior and an exterior grade of the mirror. So far we've only brought in the interior grade of the mirror, but there is an exterior one available. There is a lacquer finish that's put on that exterior mirror that will protect it from UV. So in this application, this was outside on a wall, and you can see the reflection that's in that. The other one is the Samsung gallery. Not too sure where this one is. It's in a mall somewhere in Europe, but this is the anthracite mirror. So we've brought in silver and anthracite. Anthracite is this real smoky gray color, very rich looking finish, very pretty finish. What's interesting about this one is in that Samsung photo, if you look at the panel in the far right, you can see the gentleman who's taking the picture of that. The reflection is in that panel there. But it gives you a very high class, high quality look with that anthracite mirror. This one you got to use a little focusing with also. This is an exterior application again, but doesn't have to be. This can be inside of a building where any kind of reflection like this just adds to the character of something. So again, you can see the guy that's taking this picture is almost dead center of that picture. He's standing there by the table, but it's a wall with DIBOND mirror on it, reflecting back onto that area. But again, terrific place to use for interior also, to get some really outstanding looks. Various applications, you know, as most everybody knows 3A composites, we think of sign graphics and displays, but this one you really can expand beyond those applications. The picture on the left, you know, the mirror could be used in institutional type applications. So the other products that you would see in those types of applications, like acrylic or polycarbonate, you know, acrylic has a very high flammability. Polycarbonate is going to be better, but it's going to be soft, so it's not going to be as rigid, and you can kind of get those funhouse mirror effects that you wouldn't want to have in these kinds of applications. So, you know, boys' locker room at school, that maybe a basketball is going to hit that mirror. This type of product is going to stand up to that. Stadiums, prisons, places like this where you need an unbreakable product, the DIBOND mirror is great for that type of application. The other one in the center here is a motorhome. So you can see the ceiling was done with the DIBOND mirror. So what you get with the DIBOND mirror is, again, exceptional rigidity. So you could use it in a ceiling application like this without having to worry about sagging or it eventually falling out of any framework because it's deformed enough. So incredibly rigid. You've also got the fire characteristics that you would want in an application like this. And then you've also got the lightweight features of this product. So when you're talking about a motorhome, weight is important because they look for lightweight items to improve fuel economy. So lightweight compared to a glass mirror, which would be very heavy, it's going to be very similar to an acrylic or a polycarbonate mirror. But again, you're going to get all the other outstanding features that you wouldn't get with acrylic or polycarbonate. The yacht on the right-hand side there, again, mirrored applications around in there. Same types of things with transportation market where fire characteristics, lightweight, all those things are big advantages to a DIBOND mirror. This is a fast food restaurant, and the ceiling is done with the anthracite mirror. So again, gives you a really great look. It's rigid enough to use in those ceiling applications, which, you know, a lot of the other products you wouldn't want to use, or you wouldn't want to try to lift a glass mirror up there and that type of thing. So great applications for the DIBOND mirror there. This is the picture on the left is a tree. It was a ceremony that they had for some trees in New York City. So you can see in the circled picture, that tree is, they've got it all tied up right now. And then in the unveiling ceremony, they're going to take those covers off of the trees. But they used the DIBOND mirror. This was going to be a temporary type application. Use the DIBOND mirror in the bottom of this so that they get a nice reflective look instead of looking at the dirt there. You're going to see some of the foliage when they take the bag off of that tree. The Winter's Angry Fight Back, very similar to what we just saw in the routing application. So again, some really intriguing looks that you can get with the material, all one sheet of material that you can use to just bend and fold into the the angles and curves that you want. The bottom picture there is an igloo, I guess, for lack of a better word, but it, again, routing, shaping, bending. You can see the intriguing looks that you can get from doing that kind of thing. There's actually a door in this one on the right-hand one where you can actually go inside of this, but create some really intriguing looks with the product. So in summary, the features of Dibond, they're consistent throughout the product line, whether it is with the standard painted materials or with these mirrored finishes. The pictures over on the right-hand side, that's in a train station in Europe. We are getting more information about how that actual project was done, but again, the artistry that they were able to create with the mirrored finish is something that should be inspiring. The flatness, rigidity, the reflective quality, being flat, staying flat, mounted to a wall, put it in a ceiling, it's going to be very rigid, so you're going to get a good reflective quality all the time. Fire characteristics, UL 94V0, ASTM E84 in the Class A rating. Fabrication techniques that you can do with Dibond and the mirrored product, is unique. And then always the lightweight function of an aluminum composite material. Some of the questions that we are working on now is the ability to direct print the material. Our plant in Europe has had some success with that. We're trying to get more information about that. And we're working with some printers here in the US to have some testing and some trials done so that we can get some of our own testing done on that. We were asked about etching. Our plant in Europe hasn't had any experience with that. We know that there are vinyls that you can put on that will give it a look like it's been etched, but that's another one that we'll have to experiment here locally. But certainly a lot of the typical fabrication techniques that you have done over the years with Dibond and ACM in general would apply to the Dibond and the Dibond mirror. So I will check and see if we have any questions from anybody.
Yes. Excuse me. Hello, everyone. It's Michael. I'm here. I'm just in the background. So it's nice to have you all, and thank you for your questions. And actually, thank you to Chris from our team for fielding some of the questions that are in the chat function as well. So just to review quickly, what happens when you put the indoor mirror outside? That's one of the first questions.
It'll turn foggy. So it's a anodized finish, polished finish, but it won't stand up to the exterior. So there is a ceramic lacquer that they put on the exterior grade, and even that is only about a 2 to 3 year product, depending upon where it's at. So yeah, it'll turn foggy after a while.
Right. What thicknesses does the Dibond come into? The Dibond mirror come in?
The 3 millimeter is the standard thickness. We stock the 49-inch wide by 98-inch long sheets.
Fantastic. Is the interior product water resistant?
No, it should be used in a dry application.
Excellent. And is it scratch resistant?
The anodizing finish gives you a harder finish. So I will say that it's scratch resistant, but not proof. If somebody wants to scratch it and takes a key or wants to damage the product, they certainly could.
And let's see, how do you clean the surface? So just basically cleaning.
Yeah, that's a good question with the cleaning solutions. That one we will have to get some information about what the recommended cleaners are for the Dibond mirror.
One of the things that we've been talking about a lot lately, especially because of COVID, is microfiber. So just as microfiber and water, depending on the severity of what's on it, that's been a good cleaning agent. The way that the microfiber is broken down, it actually can, kill bacteria as well. So unless there's something outstanding that's happened to it, a damp microfiber cloth should clean DIBOND Mirror back to its original luster. And let's see, one other question here: are they masked?
Yes, DIBOND Mirror has a masking on it.
Good deal. So let's see, I love the test. Okay, we have somebody that would love to test it as far as printing on it.
Awesome.
And then there's a question, what is the second surface? I think we may have answered that. As far as the second surface, were you talking about interior versus exterior,
or the back side of the sheet? If it's the back side of the sheet, it's just a mill finish on the back side, I believe.
Yeah. That was it. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Eric. Is it UV printable?
That's where we're testing, and we're hoping that it looks like maybe somebody on the call today is willing to help us do some of those trials. We do have some material that's out for trials.
Yeah. And whomever that was, if you don't mind emailing me based off of the invite that you got out, michael.lawrence@38composites.com. We would love to work with a number of people to see what kind of print settings work best on the mirror finish. So we definitely appreciate your offer. Let's see. Okay, that's a good statement there. If you're reading the comments, you got a good statement there from Summer. But are there any other questions that we can field? We have a couple more minutes left. We definitely appreciate the conversation that's taking place as well. This is awesome. This is probably the most interaction we've had in a bit on a session. So thank you so much for your questions. One of the questions that did not pop up here, currently availability. We do have more DIBOND Mirror coming in October. We do have Anthracite available right now. So if you did want samples or wanted to order sheets, we do have a 5-sheet minimum, so you don't have to bring in a lot of it to actually make an order on the mirror. So that's also something to take advantage of as well. Chris, that is a great question. What about the surface is not water resistant? So the surface itself.
Yeah, the information that we got back from the plant didn't really say. It says the material is not suitable for outdoor use. This is the interior grade. The surface will corrode and will get cloudy. Therefore, only for dry interior applications. So I guess the corrosion would probably be the issue with the wet application.
It's a great question. And we know this product is brand new to our marketplace, and we're excited about a lot of the things that we'll be figuring out. So be on the lookout for more videos that are specific to some of the questions that you're asking, because we're curious ourselves. Mm-hmm. So a little spin-off may be coming soon where we'll do some different testing on applications and tolerances for a lot of our products, actually, because we want to make sure that we can give you proper information there. So that being said, we're going to close out at this time. Let's see, I did see the question about the printing with latex, like with the HP R series printer.
We will be doing that testing in-house, actually.
Exactly.
So we should know very soon on that.
Yeah. And so for some of these questions as well, if you would avail yourself to the website, click on there, see who your sales rep is for our team, and we can start fielding those questions and get you some responses through them, and also continue the dialogue so that we can make sure that we know how to contact you as we get more and more answers too. That would be my best recommendation there. So this last question from Carlos we'll take, and then we're going to close out. So he says, my question is, if I'm using the DIBOND Mirror on a big wall, do you recommend using the material from the same batch?
In general, that's typically a good idea, but I don't know on the mirrored material if you're going to see much difference from batch to batch. I would say that it would be recommended that you do that, because anytime it's an anodized type finish, there can be variation from batch to batch. So, you know, when we have the product anodized, it comes in a very large coil, so there can be a number of lots of material that it could come from.
So Carlos, to kind of augment that question, I know this is an exterior look as well, but here's a large surface that was done in Saudi Arabia with DIBOND Mirror. So just to give you an idea, so you know, there may be a little bit of a difference in some smaller qualities, but overall, you're looking at something here that's probably an easy 20 feet tall by, you know, by 30, 40 feet wide.
There's a lot of panels.
It's just a lot of panels. So I know this doesn't really answer your question, but here's just an example of a large scale project being where a DIBOND mirror was used. Again, we're learning just as fast as we can, and we look forward to some follow-up with you, but we were excited about this product coming to market and being available here in the States, and we wanted to make sure that you learned a little bit more about it. I knew that question was coming, Darren. Thank you very much. We will not have the outdoor version in the States in any time in the near future that we can count on. But as soon as we know whether we'll have it or not, we'll be sure to make sure everybody knows, and we'll be shouting it from the rooftops for sure. But as of right now, our interior, we do have more coming in, and we look forward to learning more and more about it. So thanks again to everybody. Thank you, Doug, for hosting us today.
Thank you.
As you can tell, I had a lot of clicking to do back here, so did not want you to see me in a scurry. I'm sweating a little bit right now. But we look forward to talking to you. Please, again, avail yourself to the website. Find your representative on there. Reach out to them so that we can continue this dialogue going forward. Everyone have a fantastic rest of the week, and we will talk to you again next month. Bye-bye now.